People always think the woods are peaceful at night, the kind of place where you can clear your head and feel alone in a good way. But I learned the hard way that sometimes being alone in the woods isn't the same as being the only one there. My name is Ethan, and what happened to me on the Appalachian Trail a couple of years ago still makes me avoid forests after dark. Even now, when I'm walking on a quiet city street at night, I sometimes stop just to listen, and if I hear anything behind me that matches my steps, I walk faster. It was supposed to be a simple, solo hike. I'd been planning it for months, a 3-day trek through one of the more remote sections of the Appalachian Trail. No cell service, no crowds, just me, the trail, and the trees. I started late in the afternoon on a Friday, thinking I'd cover a few miles before setting up camp. The sun was already low, casting long shadows through the dense forest. Everything felt normal at first. I reached a small clearing just before dusk and set up my tent. Had dinner, listened to the usual night sounds, crickets, owls, the wind and the leaves. Nothing unusual. I went to bed early, tired from the drive and the hike, but around 2 a.m., I woke up, not from a noise exactly, but from that feeling. You know, the one. Like the air in the tent had changed, become heavier. I lay there for a while listening. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. Then I heard it. Footsteps. Soft, but steady. Crunch, crunch, crunch on the dry leaves outside my tent. Exactly the same rhythm as if someone was walking slowly around the clearing. Primera frase held my breath. The footsteps stopped. I told myself it was a deer or a raccoon, something harmless. I forced myself to go back to sleep. The next day was fine, beautiful. Even I hiked deeper into the trail, the path narrowing as the trees closed in. By evening, I was miles from any road or other hiker. I found another spot to camp, this one next to an old logging trail that hadn't been used in years. That night it happened again, but worse. I was lying in my tent, reading by headlamp, when I heard footsteps, not around the camp this time, on the trail, coming toward me. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Slow, deliberate. Slow. I turned off my light and listened. The steps kept coming. Closer, closer. Then they stopped right outside my tent. Primera. Hua. I did. Heart pounding. Minutes passed. Nothing. Eventually, I unzipped the tent door, just enough to peek out with my flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness. Empty. Clearing. No animal. No person. Just trees and shadows. I told myself I was imagining it. Went back to bed. But then it started again. This time, the footsteps were moving away. Down the trail. Crunch. The same pace as before. I don't know why, but I felt compelled to listen. Too much the rhythm in my head. The third night was when it really began. I'd hiked further than planned, trying to outrun the uneasy feeling. Camped in a dense part of the forest where the trail was barely visible. As soon as I lay down, I heard it. Footsteps. Right behind me. On the trail. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Exactly matching the pace I'd been walking all day. Primera. Dea. The steps stopped. I lay back down. They started again. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I got up and stepped outside the tent. The footsteps stopped immediately. I took one step forward. Crunch, a step behind me. I took another step. Crunch, another. Primera stopped. Everything went silent. My blood ran cold. Whatever it was mimicking me, matching every move. I went back into the tent, zipped it shut, and sat there shaking. After a few minutes, the footsteps started again, circling the tent, slowly, never faster, never slower, always matching the rhythm I'd set. Earlier, I didn't sleep that night. At dawn, I packed up as fast as I could and started hiking out, trying to get back to civilization. But the footsteps followed. Every step I took on the trail. Crunch, a matching step behind me. If I walked slow, they walked slow. If I sped up, they sped up. I started walking faster. The steps behind me got faster. I broke into a jog. The steps jogged. Primera, ra, ene. The steps ran. Branches snapping, leaves flying. My lungs burning. But the sound behind me never fell behind. Never got closer. Always perfect sync. I ran for hours until I burst out of the woods onto a dirt road, collapsed, gasping for air. The footsteps stopped. Primera, look back. Nothing. Nothing. Just the dark tree line. A truck came by. Eventually picked me up, took me to town. I never told the driver the full story. Just said I got lost. But locals know these stories. They call it the follower or the pacer. Something that lives in the deep woods, that finds hikers who wander too far. They say the rules are simple. If you hear it matching your steps, don't stop walking. Don't look back. And whatever you do, don't ever try to confront it. Because if you stop, it stops. And if you turn around, it might decide to walk toward you instead. I've never gone back into those woods. I don't even like walking alone at night anymore. Because sometimes, even in the city, on quiet streets, primera, ea, R, Italiano, crunch, 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 matching my steps, waiting for me to stop. So if you're ever hiking alone in the Appalachians or any deep forest, and you hear footsteps behind you that match yours perfectly, keep walking. Don't stop. Don't look back. And pray you reach the edge before it decides to change the rhythm. Thank you for listening. If these stories help you drift off or keep you up all night, subscribe for a new one every day. And remember, whatever you do tonight, if you hear footsteps matching yours in the dark, don't stop walking. Good night.